Matt Lenihan Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and R Kings. We're here with trainer Kevin Cunningham here in Orlando. Amo Williams fighting this weekend. I saw him yesterday walking his dog through the hotel, and I just said, "How are you going?" He goes, "I'm ready. I've had such a great camp. I am bang up for this fight. You're going to see something good this weekend." Talk to me a little bit about him and how he's progressed and how much he's prepared for this fight.
Well, this camp is probably the best camp he's ever had in terms of working with me, because in the past he's had kind of short camps, like 4.5, 5 weeks tops. And this camp here, we had a pre-camp prior to Christmas, and then I gave him off for the holidays, and then we came back, and we've been in camp for over 9 weeks, and we've had a tremendous camp, great sparring, so he's ready.
What are the differences you've seen in him having that extra time? He said, that's one of the things he said now, you just reminded me, he's like, normally we have 5, 6 weeks, but what is it that's changed with him? Is it the mentality? Is it his performance? What has been the difference from having the extra time?
Well, for the most part, he's learned how to train like a pro. In the past, he kind of started late at 19, but he's gotten by with the way he's done things, and what I've tried to convey to him, it's a certain way that you have to prepare if you want to be a world champion and you want to compete at the elite level. There's certain ways of preparation, and he's finally gotten to realize that, and he's finally learned about the process of getting his second win and understanding the process of building himself up to get to that point. So when he gets to fight week, he's at his peak, optimum condition, and that's where he is right now.
He's obviously he's had a good career up to this point. Fell short against Hamza Shiraz. That's no shame in that. Hamza's a terrific fighter. Has he learned from that? Has he taken away lessons from that fight? Has that been a big part of him coming into this sort of next chapter in his career?
Well, he's taken away lots of lessons from that setback. He learned a lot, and from a technique and skill set standpoint, he's developed to the next level, and I think you'll see that on Saturday night.
What kind of show are we expecting from him? We've seen him put people down before, explosive. As a trainer, from your point, I know you'd probably like to see a little bit of everything and all the hard work that he's put into camp. What are you hoping from him on this Saturday?
Well, I'm looking to see. I'm expecting for Amo to go out and just be the total package. I mean, he's got good hand speed, fast feet, powerful, and I'm just looking for him to, just bring it all together. He's got a high IQ. I mean, he's an intellectual type of guy, and now he's starting to, use that intellect to implement it in his game in the ring, so I'm expecting to see the total package on Saturday night.
You've worked with a lot of elite level fighters. How convinced are you that this man here can become a world champion and reach that sort of pinnacle of the sport? He talks very well. He's an excellent fighter. He's now going into a stage of his career, probably trying to move into his prime years now. How confident are you he can become world champion?
I think he definitely can become a world champion. I think he could definitely be a star in the middleweight division. There's actually the division needs a personality and a star, and Amo's got the punching power to knock guys out. He's got the personality. He's developed. I mean, he's taking his skill set to the next level. So I think there's great potential for Amo in the middleweight division.
You mentioned that you've worked with such a high array of elite level stars. I want to ask you on a couple of fights coming up. We know Canelo Alvarez is fighting William Skull, but we know the bigger picture for that. Potentially a Terence Crawford fight. Terence stepping up in weight. What chance do you give Terence Crawford meeting Canelo at that higher weight? What's your honest opinion? Like, from a trainer's standpoint, everyone talks about the skill set of Crawford. Canelo's done it for many years. 2 pound for pound greats going in the ring, certified. Their legacies are in the books. But can Terence Crawford pull this off?
He definitely can. He has the ability to pull it off for sure. Now, it's going to be a tough task. You're talking about Canelo Alvarez, one of the greatest fighters ever. So I think Terence is special you know, and it's going to take it takes a special fighter to move up multiple weight classes and still dominate. And I think Terence Crawford has the ability, not to say he'll dominate Canelo Alvarez, but I think he's special enough to where he can find a way to expose Canelo's flaws and pull it off. I just think he's a special enough fighter, and he's gifted enough, and he's smart enough to win a boxing match with Canelo Alvarez.
We saw Floyd Mayweather many moons ago when Canelo was sort of moving into them sort of like, I want to say peak years. He was still a young fighter. He's been around that long now, but we saw a boxing sort of masterclass that night. Would you expect if Terence is to win that we see something similar?
Well, I mean, Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather are two different fighters, two different styles, two different mentalities. I think what you'll see with Terence is a boxer, but he's also going to try to beat up. He's going to get the respect of Canelo Alvarez. Yeah, he's going to box, but he's going to get his respect too, and he's going to be smart about it. You know, so I think he can. I really think Terence can pull this off.
I seen a few weeks ago from the UK, stayed up late. I watched Gervonta and Lamont Roach. I know you've been around, like Adrian Brown and Gervonta for years. Lamont Roach stepped up, did a really good job.
I trained for one fight too.
Yeah,
we won a world title together. Yeah,
that's what I mean. You've been there with him. What did you make of it? I think a lot of people talking about the performance of Gervonta, but look, I think you've got to give credit to Lamont Roach. He stepped up in weight. He did his thing. He didn't look out of place. A lot of question marks over the knee touching the floor. What did you make of the fight as a whole? What did you make of it?
Well, what I thought about the fight, I thought that it's obvious that Lamont Roach is familiar with Tank. He went into that fight with a certain level of confidence. He was confident from the press conference on, and he showed confidence the second the bell rang. But to be honest with you, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do. You can't take anything away from Lamont Roach. But I didn't see the Tank that I know on fight night. I didn't see that Tank in that ring that night.
I agree with what you said. I almost saw a familiarity with two guys who sort of were looking at what each other's going to do. Maybe had shared them rounds, which they had, I know, before. But when you look at Tank, you say that wasn't the Tank that you know. What was missing? Was it the spite? Was it the IQ? What was specifically missing from Gervonta Davis that night?
What I seen was a guy that looks like his mind was preoccupied with other things. I don't know what those things are, but he just didn't look like he was all the way focused to me. He just didn't look like he was all the way zoned in on the task at hand.
Would you want to see that fight run back next?
Sure. I think he should go straighten that out. I mean, he's one of the faces of the sport. He's one of the best fighters in the game, and he needs to go straighten that out and let people know that he's the man, and that was an off night, and go straighten that out. That's what he needs to do. Now it remains to be seen if that was an off night, because Lamont Roach has something to say about that.
I want to ask you something away from this now. What's the one fight in boxing, and we've seen a lot of fights made now that we want to see, what's the one fight in boxing that you want to see as a fan of the sport that if you could make tomorrow, you'd make? You're the promoter, you pick.
Well, I want to see Terence Crawford fight Canelo Alvarez for sure, but if I was a promoter, and the fight that I would make today would be Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson.
And the reason is because that fight, do you think that is the biggest fight, especially for America, do you think it's the biggest fight outside of like the heavyweights and outside of your Canelos that can be made in boxing?
Yeah, and I think Tank is the total package, and I think Shakur Stevenson is the most complete, pure boxer in the game.
I concur with that. Look, Kevin, it's been good to catch up with you. Like I said, we don't get to the US often, and when whoever's here is here, but good to sort of shoot the shit with you for a bit, and we look forward to seeing yourself and Ammo do your thing this weekend. So, Kevin, appreciate you jumping on. Catch up soon.
All right, appreciate it. Nice talking to you.